A very good morning, dear students. 10th grader, I hope you all are good. So, in today's session, we are continuing with next part of chapter 1. In last session, we have studied till download and uploading the file on server. That was on page number 25. Today, we are continuing chapter 1 from page number 26. So, in this session, we will discuss the protocols that are required to transfer the message. So what is protocol? Protocol is a set of rules that is followed to provide a specific service. On internet there is a number of protocols. Some are used for mail transfer, some are used for file transfer, some are used for transferring of different services, some are used for opening the websites. So these such types of protocols will be discussed in today's session. So let's start with the session. Our today first topic, that is TCP IP. TCP and IP are combined two protocols. TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol, while IP stands for Internet Protocol. Basically, it is a set of rules. TCP and IP, it's a combined protocol. It is a set of rules that will provide the services of to exchange the data between two systems. It will provide a set of rules how data will be exchanged between two computer systems, and it is a secure protocol. So when we are transferring data, we need to divide the data in small parts. Complete data cannot be transferred in one time. So we need to divide the data, and the division of data will be done in the form of packets. So TCP IP will provide the functionality to make a set of rules to exchange of data by dividing the data in small packets, and afterward when we are making small parts, suppose take one example. Suppose we are having this data and we are dividing this data in this part. Here we are giving sequence 1 2 3 4 5 6. Till the time we will not give the sequencing of data, it is not possible it will be delivered in a proper sequence. So it will also provide the services of sequencing of data. First one is how data will be exchanged. Second one, dividing the packet. Third one is sequencing of data. It means it will arrange the data in a particular order in a sequence number. And after sequencing, it will do the segmentation. Segmentation means to say it will combine the data in a group of packets when a receiver will receive. If data will not be received in a proper sequence, a data will not provide any sense. A data will not provide any meaning. Suppose I am writing here, take one example. Suppose I am writing here Puneet, Puneet. I am not doing the sequencing of data. In that case, packets can be forwarded in a non-sequential order, and if we combine the packet, a sequence will not be proper. That's why sequencing and segmentation is required. Now we are discussing about the working of TCP. What is the main working of TCP? TCP will help to exchange of data, so it will make the channelization. It will make the channel how data will be transferred. It will decide how data will be transferred from one computer to another computer. Second, assembling. Sequencing. Assembling means to say division of data. It will divide data in small parts. And third one, sequencing. It will arrange the data in a proper sequence, in a specific sequence, so meaning of data should not be changed. This is the concept of TCP. What TCP do? Sequencing, assembling, data channelization, dividing the packets, all tasks are performed by TCP. Now who will receive the data and who will transfer? For sending or receiving data we need the address. IP address we have required. IP means to say internet protocol address, on which address data will be transferred and from which address it will be transferred. So IP will provide the services of addressing, to provide the address of that specific computer system or network where data will be transferred and from which computer it will be transferred. And second one is routing of packets. A data can transfer from a number of paths. It is not fixed that it will transfer from one way. Like suppose we are having one way, two way, three way, four way. So out of these four way, 1, 2, 3, 4, which path will be followed? It is decided by IP. It is decided by Internet Protocol which path is best, because it will find out the shortest path. And what's the shortest path and effective path is there, best route is there, it will follow this route. So it will do the routing of packets and checking of data delivery. It will again check the delivery, whatsoever we are sending, it is received in the proper way or not. If some pages are missing, some data is missing, it will again retransmit the data. It will again retransmit if some data is missing. It will again transmit the data on a network. So TCP/IP have some common advantages. Very first advantage, TCP/IP is not controlled by any company. It is not the part of any specific company. That's why a user is free to modify the data very easily. We can modify the data in a very easy manner. Second, we can transfer data in any operating system. It is compatible with every operating system, every hardware, or it is compatible with every type of network. So it is supported by all networks, all operating system, and it is easily modifiable. These all are the advantages of TCP and IP. Afterward, this topic complete. Now next topic is SMTP. SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, a set of rules to transfer the mail on a network. So SMTP will provide the service to transfer the mail on a network. The major point, SMTP is a push protocol. Push means to say we can only send, we cannot receive. So SMTP is used to transfer the file in the form of mail on a network. So SMTP was developed in 1982 and afterward it is modified, updated in 2018. And the major point, SMTP always provides the service on port number 25. And it is a listening protocol. Listening protocol mean to say, listening mode mean to say, it is waiting for the customer service. When any customer will send request to transfer the mail, then it will create a connection and transfer the mail on the network. So that's why it is also known as a listening mode. SMTP is a push protocol. Now second is POP. POP means post office protocol. It is for receiving of mail. Now see the difference. Examiner generally asks difference between SMTP and POP. SMTP is for receiving, sending of mail. POP is for receiving of mail. It is a post office protocol. Here 3 will represent the version of protocol. 3 is the version. So it helps to receive the mails. It helps to download the mails. It helps to store and forward the services. It is also known as store and forward services protocol. Now SMTP was working on port number 25, while TCP, because we are receiving data, we need to receive the secure data. So we are having two ports. One port is 110 and second port is 995. Where port number 110 is a unsecure port, while 995 is a secure service. If we want to receive data securely, then port number 995 will work. Now next protocol, that is HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Everybody has seen when we are using the internet services, when we are opening any website. So this protocol will work with www. It is used by www, and the purpose of using the protocol is formatting and transmitting the data. How to format and how to transmit data? Suppose we have written gmail.com. It will upload the file on your server. It will transmit the file on your computer system. So that is the concept of transmitting and formatting. And it can transfer every type of data. Either it is text, either it is image, either it is sound, either it is any graphics, either it is any binary file. Every type of file is supported by HTTP. And one more point, it is a stateless and connectionless protocol. Connectionless means to say, in this protocol there is no need to maintain connection again and again. It will create connection, but this is a connectionless protocol. Connection is already available every time. We need not to create connection again and again. So that's why it is known as stateless and connectionless protocol. And HTTP do the processing on the following steps. In first step, connection, it will one time create the connection. Afterward, it will receive the request. Afterward, it will do some processing on that data, and afterward it will give the response. Like you have written gmail.com. So to open the file, first time we need to create the connection. Afterward, we need not to create the connection. So first time it will create connection, it will accept request from user. Afterward, it will do processing and give the response on the client computer. And again, main point, it will work on port number 80. Now, who is the developer of HTTP? Who has developed HTTP? HTTP was developed by Ted Nelson. It was developed by Ted Nelson. If anybody will ask how many versions of HTTP are available, HTTP is available in two versions. First version is 1.0, second version is latest, that is 1.1. So this is about your hypertext transfer protocol. Now we are coming to the next point. Here I am solving the point HTTPS. If S is there, S means secure protocol. It means to transfer the service by using security. This is an unsecure protocol, so make it secure. We are writing HTTPS. There is no other difference. The difference of HTTP and HTTPS is the security protocol. HTTP is unsecure while HTTPS is a secure protocol. Basically, it is generally used in case of filling the online form to submit the record on a server. So in that case, we need some security. So this protocol will work with a hypertext transfer protocol secure system. Now there are some more protocols required. So next protocol that we are going to discuss, that is SSH protocol. Now next protocol, that is SSH. SSH means secure shell. Secure shell is basically used to transfer the secure services. So it will create a connection between a local and remote computer system. It means it is creating connection between client and server. Local means client, remote means that is on server. And it is a secure system, that's why we need the authentication. Authentication means to say to authenticate the user is actual or fraud. Encryption means data transfer. And cryptography means to change the form of data. Like we are sending, suppose one example I am taking, suppose we are sending A, B, C. We have used the public key cryptography, that is 4. 4 means A will be transferred after 4 bits. It means B, C, D, E. Data will be transferred E, F, G, either than A, B, C. It is a public key encryption. A key will be decided how much key number will be used, and that will be used for security. And the major point, it will work on the port number 22. Now we can learn port number 20 and 21 is used by FTP, 22 is used by SSH, and port number 23 is used by Telnet. So we will discuss one by one all ports. Port number 22 is used by secure shell for security purpose, and the major purpose of using SSH is to interactive file transfer. It means there is a secure protocol, so it can transfer at a very interactive way. It can manage the network, it can control the network, and it can design the network according to the infrastructure. Next is SFTF, Secure File Transfer Protocol. It will take the help of secure shell system. The difference between that, it will create a connection between local and remote computer. But SFTF is used to assessing, managing, transferring the file on remote computers only. Here it is a relation between local and remote. Here it is assessing, managing, transferring the file on remote computer. And the major concept, if we discuss where we can use for transferring of billing of department, transferring of any type of password. So it is working on a remote computer system. Now next topic, that is FTP. FTP means file transfer protocol, that is generally used as a security protocol for transferring the file. So transferring file over the internet, it is the major process of FTP, and FTP software is required to interact between FTP client and FTP server. Client who will read, server who will upload. Any client can read the message with the help of FTP software. And we need a specific user ID and password to access the information. Without ID password we cannot access the information. And the main objective or purpose of FTP is to sharing of files, indirect use of remote computer. Here we need the encryption, cryptography, authentication. So in that case we can indirectly use the remote computers. Directly we are not using, and transfer data securely, and it can resume the file. It means it can process the file, it can schedule a transfer. It means we can manage a scheduling on which time we have to read, on which time we have not to read. We can make a time management, and it will transfer data with a faster speed. Now here I am writing it is using port number 20 and 21. 22 is used by SSH. Now FTP has one disadvantage also. What it is? Sometimes it is not able to provide the proper encryption. It means encryption to say formatting of data is not properly done. Data format is not getting changed, and it will not give the equal priority to the users. Equality problem is there. So equality of user meant to say some users are important, some are not important. This is the major problem with FTP. Next is SCP. SCP means to say secure copy. Secure copy protocol will take the help of SSH. SSH will provide the secure shell system to transfer the secure copy, and it will do the transmission between two computers. And it is always better than FTP. Why it is better than FTP? The reason is that here there is very less problem of like transmission. It is more secure, while FTP is an unsecure protocol. Sometimes it is not this much secure, but SCP is a fully secure protocol because it takes the services of SSH. Secure shell services is taking, it is secure also, and better speed either than FTP. And next is Telnet. Telnet is a telecommunication protocol that is used to communicate between more than two computer systems. It is a protocol that is used by LAN system. It means 20 computers are kept in a line. We can make a protocol, we can decide a protocol, we can connect it by using Telnet. We can create a network, and it is a bi-directional protocol. It means two-way protocol. Data can be transferred from left to right or right to left. Both directions it can work. It came in market in 1969. But the major difference is that Telnet is a unsecure protocol. This is the major problem. It is not a secure protocol. So that's why FTP is better than Telnet. Now next topic, that is the last topic of this chapter, difference between FTP and Telnet. What is major difference between FTP and Telnet? FTP and Telnet has one major difference of port number. Like I am writing FTP here and Telnet here. FTP use which port number? It works on port number 20 and 21. Telnet works on the port number 24. Telnet work on the port number 23, not 24. It works on the port number 23. Second difference, FTP is secure protocol, Telnet is a unsecure protocol. Third difference, Telnet enables a client user to access the resources remotely. Here we need to access the resources remotely. We need to first enable. Resources enable is required, but here is no remote enability required. No remote enability required in case of, sorry, I have written wrong. I have written reverse. In case of Telnet, we need remote resources accessibility. We need to access the remote resources, but here it is not required. This is the major difference. And one more difference we can speak that Telnet, the user need to log in first in the remote computer, then can be performed. Here we need to log in first. Here we need to log in first, then we can use. But here no login required. Without login we can communicate. This is difference between Telnet and FTP. Telnet doesn't have security. Telnet is unsecure. It is unsecure. FTP is secure. So this is all about your chapter 1. Dear students, if you are again facing any doubt in any topic, you can drop me message on my WhatsApp number. It is 999118890. We will meet in next session with next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.